put it on fire, and they flamberen. It's called. Is it what's the English
I
word?
think it's flam.
Welcome to the Nuff podcast. We have a very special guest. I'm one of the hosts, RB. My other host, Sue.
Hi.
And we have the very special guest, Ilyas.
Hello. Well, thank you for having me. I
Hi,
was going to say
Tez.
welcome, then I was like, no, you did that. It's
You
too
can
early.
say-
Thing is, I only woke up like an hour ago, so for me, it's still like 9 a.m.
Okay,
even though it's not 9 a.m. right now.
but somewhere in the world is 9 a.m.
That's
so,
true.
So,
Exactly.
welcome. So, let's start out. What do you think about Belgium?
Yes, it's really.
Let's go political straight.
Yeah, it's a super interesting country you guys have. Lots of,
Oh.
so much stuff to do and see, and it's so pretty. Oh,
Okay.
Antwerp is so lovely.
Where in England are you from? You're from London.
Blackburn, but I lived in London for 10 years. You can't say
You say-
shit.
no,
You can't say
You
shit.
say
You
you
can't
lived
say
in
shit about my country.
you lived in London.
London-
and you
England
think
is nice.
Antwerp's not pretty. Antwerp's way more pretty
Hey,
than
London
London.
is nice.
Yeah, but
London has got, and also has got real architecture. Like, what is it? What am I looking at?
Oh, don't.
But this
don't.
is one street.
It's-
Yeah,
This is
alright.
like
You, to be
Stratford.
fair, you did say you were gonna tell me, you're gonna show me stuff.
Yes.
Because so far I have seen nothing of interest.
But
Antwerp's
that's typical for a
great.
comedian. You
That's
just.
true. That's
When did you drop in? Tell me when did you
okay,
arrive in
okay,
Antwerp?
So I arrived last night. At
Last
six-
night.
6.
When was the gig? When was the gig?
8.
8.
Yeah, but it was a 20-minute walk from my hotel, so I
Ooh.
walked 20 minutes from my hotel.
Convenient walking. You didn't want to
Yeah.
take the Uber
No.
because there are no Ubers.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I saw Deliveroo though. You guys have joined us in the 21st century.
21st
No.
I
century.
did see a Deliveroo.
but here we're authentic, you know.
Yeah.
In Antwerp, we like to keep things
With bicycles.
real.
Oh, my.
We're not even Dutch.
You're not selling it to me.
No?
But Antwerp is like great fashion, great food. And you know why? Because here in Antwerp, there's like so many people that take it upon themselves to be like, oh, I want to open a store, I want to open a restaurant where people can eat my food or buy my clothes. And it's really unique, but you have to know the spots. But I'll tell
Okay, cool.
You
All
get
right.
some inside.
All right. Yeah,
right.
some insider knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So far, you're telling me it's like Shoreditch, which, but
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
okay.
Kind of
Antwerp's
comparable,
like
yeah.
a big sorted.
Yeah, and Shoreditch is the worst part of London, but okay, that's fine. I'm just coming and gun your city for no reason. For no reason.
And you know what the weirdest thing is? You're not the first comedian to do so.
Oh, really? Because yesterday when I was on stage and I said, listen, I'm here tomorrow, what should I do? Everyone just went quiet, and then one person said, the cathedral, and I went, wow. Wow.
That's because Belgians are like, they're not used to boasting about their own country. or
Yeah,
about their own
we're
city.
very
Okay, you have good footballers, but you've sent them all away.
yeah
Yes,
to the
we
UK.
To us. Yeah.
What's your favorite football
I'll
player?
tell you about my fable. My favorite football team is astonishingly Blackburn Rovers.
Really?
If you're aware of them, they were good once upon a time, but not so much. It's where I'm from. That's my hometown.
But you still.
I'm not one of these people who I just support Manchester United. You know, I support my hometown team
But why? Just to support
because
your
it's my
home?
team. That's where I'm from. I can see the stadium from my house. You know.
What do you mean with my team? That's something I'm not too big into football.
Yeah.
But when people say it's my football team, do you own them or what's the connection there?
I go watch them.
Okay,
That's my team. I'm from there. They've got my hometown in their name.
so they're
So
automatically.
it's my team more than like Amsterdam would be your team
Amsterdam.
because you're from Belgium.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
But how, like, tell me about the Blackburn.
Blackburn, yeah.
What is it like? I don't have a clue.
It's small.
Yeah.
But it's nice though. It's quite leafy. There's some nice national parks in there. There's a lot of Muslims, so it's like 40% what I say Asian, like Indian, Pakistani,
Mhm.
and 60% white. And of the Asians, 99% of them are Muslim. Pakistanis and the Indians. The Indians are from a part of India where a lot of Muslims are. Other than that, not a lot of black people. A few Eastern Europeans now, which obviously my country is trying their best to get rid of.
Even the Brexit.
Through Brexit, yeah.
Operation Brexit.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's nice. There's not a lot going on there, I must say.
Is it like? Would you say it's a village or it's part?
Oh,
of
no, it's a town.
It's a town.
It's
Oh,
a town. Yeah, it's a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not a city. It's a small town.
Okay.
Well, Antwerp's a city, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're
it's-
yeah. we're a city, but in international terms.
Yeah, but the
we're a
whole
town.
of Belgium is the size of London, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Belgium
Well,
is small.
It's not the size,
not
of,
the size
London,
of London, but
the
it's-
population is, I think.
There's-
We're like 11 million. How many people are
Yeah,
in
yeah,
London?
11 million people in the whole Belgium.
Ah, that's barely. Yeah.
So
That's
London
lo-
is like 25 million, no?
No. You're thinking of Beijing.
yeah.
London is like 8 million,
Oh yeah,
8
yeah,
million.
yeah.
Yeah.
but that's like more or less your whole country.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
what 70-80% of your country.
Yeah.
Wow.
We could never invade the UK.
You could barely invade bloody Luxembourg, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but
We could do. We could.
Nobody wants to though.
Yeah. True. And sometimes it makes me when I look at the world map and I think, how did these guys manage to carve out their own country? You know, like when you look at like what's the country right by Spain, the little one?
Portugal or
Andorra.
Andorra.
Like, how did Andorra get their own country? We've got some Spanish guys on the podcast, but I don't understand how Andorra got their own country. Like, like the size of there's the size of Antwerp.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing that's happening now in Spain with the Balkan, not the Balkan,
Catalonia.
Catalonia,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what's the other? It's not Balkan, but it doesn't matter. But the same, they want to
Basque.
be independent. The Basque, exactly, the Basque. They want to be
The
independent.
Basque
and
have calmed down a little bit now. When I was growing up, they were you know, a lot of terrorism. And that's what terrorism was when we were growing up, right? It was
Exactly,
the Irish
yeah.
and the
the
Basque.
Spanish.
and it was like, oh yeah. And
Yeah.
now it's we've taken those jobs.
So you're a comedian
Yes.
from Blackboard.
Did that comment give it away?
You mean you weren't serious the whole time?
Oh yeah. I mean, last night when I was doing the gig, there were some people taking everything I said at face value, which was very funny.
Does it happen a lot?
Not in the UK, because I think on the UK everyone's on the same kind of comedic wavelength. You know, because we were the home of like alternative comedy with all the British shows and stand up and stuff.
Mhm.
So people understand. But I think sometimes when I go abroad, and also because I don't look British, so they don't automatically think this guy has a British sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes people just take things what I say at face value because I don't always give it away that this is a joke.
Yeah.
Like I'll say something with a very straight face and then people are like, okay, this is a statement.
It must be
not a joke.
It must be true.
But yeah,
Yeah.
80% of it is a joke
Mm-hmm.
and 20% of it is true.
could you nod when you say the truth? Like we know.
Yeah. Like this.
So we've been googling you a little bit.
Oh, I'm
and
so
we've
sorry.
seen a lot. You do a lot of TV work. You do a lot of
Yeah, you made
stand up.
fiction, and yeah, that's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your latest project. What are you doing? Or
So there's a few things I'm involved with at the moment. So there's a sitcom called Man Like Mobeen, which is on the BBC, which has had 2 seasons, and it's a lot of fun. It's set in Birmingham in the UK, and it stars Guz Khan, who is a good friend of mine, and he writes it as well. And he plays this.
Does he write it by himself?
No, he writes it with a
With a
guy
team.
called Andy Milligan.
It's just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have the US budgets
No
where we bring
teams,
where we
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
at maximum 2 or 3 people write together in the
Yeah.
UK. Yeah, if we don't have the budgets in America of 10 people and
Yeah.
25 episodes, it's just a different scale. But yeah, the 2 of them write it, and it's about a young Muslim Pakistani guy trying to find himself in the world and because he used to be kind of a bit of a gangster when he was younger,
Okay.
but now his parents have left and he's looking after his younger sister, so he's trying to go straight, and he's got these 2 friends, and I play one of the 2 friends. So I play. He's got
His
one.
name's 8, right?
Yeah, 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's called that because that's all he can count to. He's very stupid. He's very he's very dim. He's a very dim guy.
the character.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun playing him. And then the one is Nate, who is just a very, very super sweet, well-meaning guy. And then so he has to kind of look after his younger sister, who's very feisty and very ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
And then these 2 idiots, his best friends, and try and navigate his way through his life when people are trying to draw him back into crime and all the things that are happening, and he's trying to have some semblance of a love life. And it's got a banging soundtrack, like
Wow.
it's like, you know, 90s and noughties hip hop and R&B. It's really, really fun. People really like it. It's got on Netflix now. A lot of people in America really are finding it and enjoying it. So
Mhm.
that's a really nice project to be part
Oh,
of
cool.
because people like it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've written and starred in my own sitcom.
Okay.
We made a pilot for Channel 4 called Bounty, and the idea of that is I play the lead character who moves to London away from. It's set in Blackburn, actually, my hometown, but he moves to London, and after a few years there, circumstances send him back home, but he doesn't fit in anymore. So
Okay.
he's what we call it a bounty. When you're brown on the outside,
and
white
white
on the
on the
like a
inside.
Me
coconut,
too.
white on the inside.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's like
yeah.
one of these characters, and he comes home and he thinks he's better than everyone.
Okay.
So he tries to impose his values and beliefs on everyone else because he thinks they're all backward, but they don't need him. you know, they live their life fine,
They're fine.
but
Yeah.
he thinks they're not. So you know, because he's one of these people who, you know, when some people they believe everything they read in the news. So he read one story about his hometown in the news, and he's like, oh, they need my help. But you know, these news stories are always exaggerations, that they never know the whole truth. So he goes and like everything's fine, but he's trying to impose his will on everyone and his way of doing things and his values, and so it's kind of like no one's right, but you're just looking at it from different perspectives. So they look at him like some sort of like show off bougie character who thinks he's better than everyone, and he's looking at everyone else, he's looking down at everyone else, and like they kind of like these village people who don't know anything. So it's a lot of fun. But we made a pilot for that, and that came out on Channel 4 put it on their YouTube channel, and it's their second. They've had 100 pilots in 10 years, and it's the second most viewed.
Wow.
They've ever had. So we are now writing a further script, like a mid-season episode, just to show that it's got legs. And then hopefully we get a commission and it'll go to series.
What do you mean with mid-season episodes?
So they want us. So they said to me, okay, this was episode 1.
Yeah.
Write episode 4.
Oh yeah.
So we just the character established. We just want to know.
Yeah. Where does he go?
Yeah, where does he go and stuff? And
Yeah.
is it just that this one story is funny, or can you just drop in at any moment and make a funny story with these characters? So we're doing that at the moment, and hopefully we get that right. We'll get a full series. Yeah. And Gus Khan is in that as well. So it's kind of like a role reversal where he plays my excitable, not dumb but very excitable cousin. So he stayed. Grew his beard, wears the thobe, and goes to the mosque, and then he's come back and it's kind of like, what happened to you? And he's like, well, I have a family and stuff. What do you have? And he's like, I traveled, you know. So there's this kind of differences in their experiences, but neither of them are better or worse than anyone else. Each other is just different.
Oh, cool.
And how was it writing for yourself and then playing?
Hard.
As well? Yeah.
So hard. I remember on the shooting days it was so difficult because you've written it, and so you're watching everyone else deliver their lines, and you're going, oh, this is so exciting, and then you're kind of going, was that funny? I don't know, because it felt funny when I was writing it, but I don't know, it was funny when they were saying it. So it's just, there's so much. It's like when you throw a party, you can't, and people come, you can't relax, you can't have a nice time. No one has a nice time at their own party.
No,
so it's like that. But
who directed then? Like,
so a British director called George Kane, and he's directed a few other sitcoms in the UK. One called Time Wasters. It's about a black jazz band from a modern time, and they find a time machine and they go back in time, and they're in like 1920s England, but they're black and they have to try and fit in. So it's good fun, and that got nominated for a BAFTA. So he directed that.
Wow.
So I had a conversation with him, and it's like, oh, we get on, and he seemed like a good guy. So he came in to direct it.
How fun is it working with friends? Because, like you said,
you know what? It's rare. I think me and Gus are quite, because we have such a good chemistry. We've kind of got to the point where we're like, it'd be a shame to waste it, right? Because we know each other so well, and it feels like we've known each other our whole lives, even though we only met on the circuit like maybe 4 years ago. But I think we're quite uniquely placed in that we're the only people on the circuit who are all of the following things: British, Muslim, Pakistani, not from London, working class. You know, there are other people who are Pakistani, other people who are Muslim, other people who are, but we're the combination of all those things. So we felt like we grew up together, and we speak the same second-hand language, and we have the similar politics and the similar inside jokes and all the shorthand and stuff that goes with knowing someone's entire community and culture. So there's no one. We're the only two people who are like that on the circuit. So when we found each other, we just gelled straight away, and when we work together, it's so easy because quite often we will improvise in a scene just because we know each other so well and so comfortable. And if you know the characters well enough, we will just go back and forth with stuff. And people seem to enjoy that. So we always said we wanted to work together. And people have said to us before, like when we were talking about casting this, and they're like, who do you want to play? Who do you want for the Wasim character? And I was like, oh, Guz. And they were like, but you what guys, what do you? And I was like, yeah, they don't say that to Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson when they work together, right? All those guys who make 20 films together, they don't say that to them. So what's the problem here? Oh, Anton Deck do everything together.
Oh, I know him. I saw him in Turn Up Charlie.
Yes, he's doing great.
So funny.
Yeah. So he's doing great. He's such a good comedy actor. And he got to be in this thing with Idris. So Turn Up Charlie is a Netflix sitcom with Idris Elba. You know, he's going. He's great. You know, he's going places. And he's in a new, the new remake of Four Weddings and a Funeral. So there's a new Four Weddings and a Funeral remade for TV, Mindy Kaling is the executive producer.
Okay.
And he plays the best friend of the lead character.
Oh wow.
So in this version, there's a Pakistani British guy and a Black American lady, and it's their love story.
Okay.
So yeah.
How is it? Because, like you said, you have a Pakistani British background, and we see now a lot of projects going on Netflix, on TV, in all over the world, especially also in the US. The UK has a long history of having space for the British Pakistani identity. How do you feel? How do you fit in that story?
So that's interesting you should say that, because we don't feel that.
Okay.
So we feel like they're giving us some space now, but we felt like for a long time we've been neglected. So we had did you ever watch Goodness Gracious Me?
Yeah, of course.
So we had that. That was the one thing we had.
Yeah.
So they were Indian, but British Asian.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same umbrella.
So do you know Goodness Gracious? Because
I don't.
So Goodness Gracious Me was a very funny, very very funny sketch show which came out in 1999.
Yeah.
And they were just 4 Indians, two women, 2 men, and they were doing all like Asian humor for a British audience, and it was very funny. For us, it was great because we identified something in it, and it was great. Like the like Indian food has a reputation for being spicy, and white people will go to an Indian restaurant and they'll be like, "Give me the spiciest thing on the menu ever." So they do a reversal where they go to a white restaurant and they say, "Give me the blandest thing on the menu." So it was very very funny. They're very ahead of their time, but that was it. So we never had anything. Then we got Goodness Gracious Me, this big spike, and then nothing until now.
But what happened there? What?
Don't know. I think they were like, "Well, we've done it. You well done, successful."
Yeah.
I guess why would you need anything else? There is no one else.
Yeah.
So we kind of got neglected for a while again. And then but also 9/11 happened. So straight, I think 2 years after that, and these guys, they weren't, the guys who made Goodness Gracious Me weren't Muslim. It was more of a British Asian identity rather than a Muslim identity. And they weren't Muslim anyway. But it was 9/11 modeled everything. And then 7/7 happened in the UK, which was the terrorist attack on the 7th of July 2005 in the underground. And so everything got muddled for a few years, and then a stronger identity out of that came out of that, because then you could like with people like me and Gus Khan and stuff, and we started talking about these things, and suddenly people started to pay attention, and they were like, "Oh, this is very interesting things." Rather than us talking about them, why don't we just let them talk?
Yes.
And also, to be cynical, money talks as well.
What do you mean? Money talks?
In America, they are very, very good at rinsing money out of every single community that lives in America. So the Mexican pound, Latino, I should say, the Latino pound, the black pound, the pink pound, every single way they can monetize every bit of their society, they will do so. But in Europe, I can speak for Britain anyway, it's very, very stuffy. They will have their upper middle class white thing that they will show to everyone, and then other parts of the country are slightly neglected. But I think over the last few years they've realized that if you show black people on TV, you'll get a spike in viewership, because people want to see themselves on TV. People want to identify with characters and stuff like that. And so I think they've started. They won't say that's the reason, but let's be honest, it's not from altruism.
Exactly.
But it's just it's a happy coincidence that what works for them works for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and your part in it? What do you feel? Do you feel like you're a spokesperson?
No,
or do you feel
I try. I don't want to be. I think sometimes there's an element of that, because if there's only so few of you from a certain type of background who have a microscopic lens on them that people want to know about, then maybe by accident, maybe there's no choice sometimes. But we don't. It's not by my design. But then I guess also maybe it is slightly because I talk about the things that I talk about. So I talk about being Muslim in my shows and stuff, but it's also because in comedy they say talk about what you know, right? And so I also try to have a USP, a unique selling point. And so on the circuit in Britain, my unique selling point is those things I listed earlier. I'm Pakistani, I'm Muslim, growing up in that country, and there are unique experiences that come with that, and especially given the times that we're in and how much Muslims are in the news, which is one of my favorite jokes. it'd be stupid of me not to talk about it. So there are.
But it's also you don't have to force it. 'cause
Yes,
it
exactly.
feels natural.
But there are 200 other comedians talking about dating and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I could be another guy talking about dating, sure. Or I've got this whole other thing that no one else knows about, and people want to know about. So, yeah, I'll talk about that because I care about it as well. So I guess from that perspective, maybe I have made myself a spokesman, but I don't want to be. The thing is, I'd rather just say it on stage, and people can interpret what they want from the work. And yeah, like the joke I had yesterday about so how I have this joke out of context. It might sound horrible, but it works on stage. So I have this joke about how in the Bataclan 2 years ago there was this terrorist attack by ISIS, and there was a band on stage, and these people came in and shut the room up. And 2 days after that, I was performing in central London, and in the paranoia that followed that event, we thought we could be a target because we're in central London, we're performing. If they could target them, maybe they could target us. And then we're backstage, and I'm the only Muslim in the show, and everyone is talking backstage, and they're saying, what would you do if you're on stage and something like that happens? If these bad people came in, what would you do? How would you stay alive? And I say on stage, I say, well, for me, I think I would have to just pretend I was with them. But it's a thing where you're like, yeah, obviously I'm joking, but but the audience laugh because they're like, that would be the smart thing to do. That would be the smartest thing for you to do in that moment. So I like to play on people's expectations like that.
That was so like the moment before I laughed.
It took a second for you, right? It took a second. You were like, did he just? Oh my god, he just said that. Okay, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. Well, that's like that's a good microcosm of what I like to do on stage. But sometimes, you'll get people who are like, he genuinely must mean that. That's why he said it.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking that's a joke.
Yeah. What I like about being on stage is that I think as comedians we have something really unique especially in today's world where we have like 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, where we can say whatever it is we want to say and have the space to say it and have everybody listen and not be interrupted by, whatever. Like if you say something online, like you just might get swiped away. Like when you say something in real life, people might not be listening. But there is like
you don't have a heckling culture here.
Not so much. It depends.
Because I was doing a show in I was at the Comedy Store in London a few weeks ago, and there's a guy. It's at the end of my set. I didn't even do the joke that I just did. I was just talking, and at the end of my set, some guy from the right, he just shouts out, "When's the next bombing?" And the whole room was just like. The room was not. To be fair, the room was not happy at him. Like
really?
They were pissed. Yeah. Because English white people, they are very protective of people they like. So they were mad. They were angry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because we're three comedians sitting here, but first of all, funny that he was right, sitting on the right.
Yeah. No, that's what I said. Is like, it's funny to me you're on my far right. Yeah. So this is the first thing I said to him. I was very proud of that comment. I was like, that's nice.
Because like for me, like when I have hecklers, and like usually it's fine, but sometimes like I've had this guy make like monkey sounds at me, and I remember being so. Like sometimes when the racism is so blatant that you're punched in the face by it. Like you're like, what? Like even if I wouldn't be on stage, I would be like, ooh, like have you had this, and like how do you handle it? Maybe or maybe you haven't had this.
But at the Comedy Store, was it the late night?
You know what? No, it was the early show.
Oh, the early show.
Yeah, it was the early show. It was the early show. Then, but I was like, but yeah, I've only had a couple of times where it's kind of been like xenophobic or racist. That was one of them. And then there was this lady who shouted bacon when I said yesterday. That was a true story as well. I was just on stage and this lady shouted out bacon, and I was like, I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. Like, what do you think was gonna happen?
Maybe she was going to her purse. She was going to her purse and found bacon.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what she thought was about to happen. So it was just like people shout weird. I don't mind it when they want to have a back and forth. Like I do mind it. I don't like. No one likes to be heckled, but when you can handle it. Actually just on Wednesday this American lady was in. So I have a bit in my show where I asked the audience who's got children, just because I need it to get into a thing. So, like yesterday, I talked to Johan, the guy on the front row, and he forgot how many kids he had. He said 3, then he said 5 because he had 2 stepchildren. It was funny. And one of his stepchild was sat next to him. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. He had 3, 5. She was like, and her mum was on the other side going. It was so funny. But what I do is I say, how many kids do you have? And then ask them a couple of questions. It's all nice. And then I say, oh, by the way, I don't have kids, because I value my spare time. And that's the joke. And then I move into the bit I want to talk about. This woman, she was an American woman, white American woman. For some reason, no, sorry, not yesterday. It was during the week, Wednesday, in London. She just got her back up about it because she thought I was having a joke at her expense. But no, I was like, I was just using you to get into a bit, right? And usually parents laugh because they're like, I get it, it's hard. But she just started shouting. She was like, oh, you should try it. I thought that, and I was like, this is not a duologue, this is a monologue. We're back to me now. But she just kind of typing, and then because I think she felt a bit embarrassed, or she felt like she didn't win, she just goes, oh, how many times a day do you pray?
What?
And I went.
Everybody knows 5 times.
But no, I went, clearly not enough because you're here. And then everyone started laughing. And then again, she felt embarrassed. And she goes, well, she said in these words, she went, Allah isn't listening to your prayers. And I went, okay. I went, clearly he isn't, because every day I pray to him to not be attacked by an American, and yet here you are.
Wow.
And then the crowd just went, I was very proud of myself.
Oh, wow.
Because that was like off the top of my head. That was just like
that's
straight.
That's great.
Because I gig a lot. The muscles are trained, so I was I dropped the mic. I was very proud. I was very, I dropped. No, then looked at my watch. I was like, oh shit, I got 3 more minutes. So I would pick the mic back up. But I was very proud of myself.
When that happens, I always thank my brain.
Yeah.
You don't have time to think. You're just like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you're like, thank you, brain.
I was like a footballer who scored a goal. I went, You like Ronaldo? Yeah, like that. I did that. I went,
man.
Oh man, it was very funny.
It's the best job in the world.
It can be. It can be.
Yes.
And also the worst part.
Yeah. I mean, I've had gigs. I remember the night I signed with my management. They run their own comedy club in South London, up the creek.
Yeah.
So they run that.
Great club.
And so the night they signed me, they had a Christmas gig, and they made me headline, which was a mistake on their part because I was not experienced enough to headline a Christmas gig. Because Christmas, I don't know how they are here, but in Britain they are rowed. They are all Christmas gigs are the worst time of year.
What do you mean? Is this on Christmas or Christmas?
Not on
Eve?
Christmas Day, but the read up to Christmas. So so work people have their Christmas. So it's like December the 12th or something.
Okay.
It's a Christmas gig because people have their work parties there. So after work, they'll be like, let's have a work party at the gig, and that's the worst thing they could do. I don't know if they have that culture here, but they do in Britain. They do, and so yeah, what do you want to do on a Christmas party? You want to catch up with your friends, and you want to whatever. The worst place to be is in a comedy club listening to other people. So these people have been disruptive and stuff, and they've been disruptive and heckling all night. There's a big group of them in some big work party, and then I was on at the end. And I didn't have any experience at the time to think, okay, first you need to build rapport with the audience and then deal with the disturbance. I just went straight in for the disturbance. But of course the audience is not on my side because they have no reason to be. I haven't made them laugh. They don't know anything about me. They don't know if they like me yet. So I think I was meant to do 20 minutes. I think I did 11, of which 9 was arguing with that group. So it was bad. It was I couldn't even say I died because it was beyond that. It was just cause it was almost like a non-event. It was awful, but I remember that. And then I went off stage and signed the papers. I was like, really? This is what you signed. You signed this. Okay. Yeah.
These are the nights we learn from.
Yeah, exactly. I would never give that night back. It was because I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
It's something, especially in comedy, failure is one of the most.
But that's what I like about
productive thing to do is just fail and go like, okay, this is what we're never going to do again.
Do you ever have? Does your ego ever kick? Do you ever go to a show thinking I'm going to do new material and then everyone's doing really well and your ego kicks in and you're like, I'm just going to try and make everyone laugh with my normal stuff.
Yeah, of course.
That's the worst. That's the worst because you're like, I need to try this new stuff.
Yeah. Or like you just try the opening line and like it gets like a tepid laugh. You're like, Okay,
Okay.
and then go to my known material.
Yeah. I'm funny, guys.
Don't worry. Like,
You thought the last guy was funny? Check this stuff out. You're like, what about your new stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
oh,
So we can be our worst enemies sometimes.
So beside comedy, do you have other things that you do? Because I really wanted to talk about your playlist yesterday in the car.
Oh, yes.
The first thing, he gets into my car. I've got like a very small, crappy car, but it's alhamdulillah, it's good. Cool. And he
It got us from A to B.
exactly,
It got us-
exactly. It's still driving. So
Yeah.
and he puts his phone charging his phone, and he thought he was like in a luxury van or something.
I thought connected my phone to the system, right? So I started playing music, and then in my head I was like, man, Arabi's got a shit sound system in this car.
It was
And
just
then-
playing on his phone.
And then 30 seconds later I was like, oh, this is just my phone.
Even your phone sounds better than
You
mine.
know what he had? He had a cassette player.
Exactly.
oh shit.
Yeah, I have a cassette player in my car. But tell us, Tess,
Yes.
what kind of song was there playing?
Oasis, man. I had Oasis on.
You're so
What's-
British.
That's British. We get the director goes like, stop, no Oasis plugs. No, but tell me, what's your relationship with Oasis?
Oh, well, you know what? Oasis are one of the best British bands. Well, like, you know, Britain has created some of the best music ever.
Yeah.
Modern music, I should say. And Oasis are one of our best bands, and they're not far from where I grew up from.
Okay.
They're from Manchester, and Blackburn is like less than an hour away.
Oh, right.
So Blackburn, I guess, is the distance from Antwerp to... How long does it take from Antwerp to Brussels?
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit longer, but like 45 minutes.
Okay.
You know, drive. But Manchester is the big city,
Yeah.
nearest city where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Blackburn is a small town. And Oasis, the legends, man. But it's not my
I
music.
know-
of,
I
my
know
music
that-
of choice is like hip hop and R&B.
Okay.
But I thought, you know, since
You're
I'd
in
give
the
you a-
car.
I thought I'd give you a, I
Yeah,
thought I'd give you
thanks.
something. Also,
So
couldn't use
roman-
Spotify
Yeah.
because I'm always using my Wi-Fi when I'm here. I'm not using roaming because I'm cheap. I'm not your favorite restaurant, cheap and Asian.
You started with your excuses. Oh, I'm cheap. I'm not cheap. What are you? Are you cheap?
No. I'm not. I say I'm like your favorite restaurant, cheap and Asian.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So I was on my whatever songs were on my phone rather than on Spotify. Yeah, man, Oasis. Is great.
What about grime?
I love grime.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love JK, who's a grime artist from Birmingham. He was in the last season of Man Like Moby in the sitcom I'm in. He plays
Oh, right.
he plays the big gangster.
Yeah.
So he's my friend now.
Cool. You're
Yeah.
friends with a
With,
gangster.
well, I'm friends with a really good with one of the best grime artists in the UK.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
How has music affected your life, like growing up? Has it been a big part, or
No, I'm not like a connoisseur. Like, so I don't like. I just like what I like, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I was an expert or a connoisseur or you know, I really know music and stuff.
Yeah,
I like the things that I like. I wouldn't say I have good taste in music. I like a beat. I like things that I can move around to. Which I know Oasis isn't that, but I like things. Mainly, I like things I can move around to and stuff. Because I used to love dancing. I used to go out when I was at university. Because I don't drink, but I love dancing. So I used to go out a lot when I was younger, dancing and stuff.
what kind of parties would you go to?
Like club nights, like hip hop and R&B and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
House? Are you into techno and house stuff?
Not a lot. I like a little bit of dance music, but like no, I can't think of anything worse. No.
It was big here in Belgium.
Yeah, no, I know.
Also in London, right? Yeah.
A little bit, but we had other things going on.
Yeah.
Other than. I like a bit of funky house, but just for 4 hours, I can't do
yeah,
it. Because I'm sober, remember? I'm not drinking any drugs, so I'm like, I can't. What the fuck is this?
I love it
I
when
can't two-step for 4 hours.
I love the part when you're in front of a club and then you're
Yeah.
and the door opens and you hear exact the same.
Yeah. And then you leave 4 hours later. And it's, I can't deal with that. I can't. That's not my type of clubbing.
Yeah, I love when people lose their mind. They go, "Oh my god, that's my shit."
It's the same one, and you're like, it's the same song. It's been the same song for 4 hours, guys. I don't know how you differentiate.
Music. Any? Do you play video games?
You know, I used to when I was younger, but not
anymore.
not anymore. No, you know, as soon as it changed from side to side.
What do you
to
mean with
being-
side to side?
So you know, when you're younger, those sides, so you're moving back to front, or you're going forward and back,
yeah.
and then suddenly GoldenEye came, and you're going 3D. I stopped playing. I was like, because you know when you're playing Halo or whatever,
Yeah.
and you find the guy. This is how I play Halo. I just start shooting the sky out the ground. I can't control it. So
So
and
you
then
stopped, you basically stopped after PlayStation 1 then.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah, like Crash Bandicoot is the last game
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
played.
Ah, okay.
Because Crash Bandicoot is you're going up and down or left to right.
Left to right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I like the
On
way
the
how
2D spectrum, I can like when Mortal Kombat 11 came out.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 10 came out.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
changed it back to platform side to side.
Exactly.
I played that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I know this. Like Street Fighter, I know that. But like Tekken and stuff, when you're like in the 3D, in the
Yeah.
round, like I'm not.
Street Fighter. What character?
Ryu.
Ryu.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Oh, why?
Yeah, Hadouken, man.
Hadouken.
Shoryuken. Nah, man.
Are
Ryu's
you-
my guy.
Yeah.
Ryu's my guy.
All right.
I mean,
You'll
they
go
butchered,
all
they,
day
butchered the,
long,
they butchered the film, but
Oh,
the Street Fighter film, you remember that with Kylie Minogue?
With and
And
Jean-Claude
Van Damme,
Van Damme?
Jean-Claude
Oh,
Van
yeah,
Damme.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know why Kylie Minogue was my go-to there.
Yeah, tell us then. Why was it kind of-
yeah, we all know why.
I remember Volcano or something from that movie.
Volcano?
Oh, there was too much stuff happening. in
Yeah,
that
there
film.
was
Otherwise,
too much.
And like the guy from Adam's Family plays M. Bison.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great actor. That guy's a great actor. He's dead now, sadly, but he's not the guy to play M. Bison.
But
What's his name? I've forgotten his name, but he was an amazing actor. But
Yeah.
he's the dad in Adam's Family.
yeah, but Bison was like a character from Thailand. Huh?
Yeah.
How the hell?
Mate, it doesn't make none of that thing. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme, is he from here?
He's from Brussels, not from here, but from.
I
Brussels.
mean Belgium.
yeah, he's from Belgium.
Is he your most famous export?
He's,
Oh,
he's
no,
one
I
of
think,
our famous.
yeah, I think right now
Must is from
Matthias
Brussels.
Schoenaerts, no?
Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
Do you know Matthias
No one knows
Schoenaerts?
who the fuck that is.
Let's see what he.
Wait, no, I know Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku,
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dries Mertens.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and your favorite Dutch word,
Hagelslag.
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 When you dropped that bomb yesterday on stage, people like, what the fuck does he know about hagelslag?
You know why? I'll tell you why I know about Hagelslag. Because I was very, very briefly seeing a Dutch girl.
Dutch or
comedian.
Belgian?
No, Dutch. No, she's Dutch.
Yeah.
And she's a comedian. She's very, very funny, but I won't drop her name on this.
Well,
She told me about
just
Hagelslag.
drop it. You're a safe space. Just I'm just
I
kidding.
was gonna say what? Really?
I'm just kidding.
No, and she told me about Hagelslag.
Hagelslag.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you
It's
you
like
never
bread,
had-
bread with chocolate sprinkles.
yeah.
No, because I was like, this sounds disgusting.
What?
I'm like, this is why we don't. This is why we want to Brexit for this reason.
What, for chocolate sprinkles?
Yeah, on your bread. Are you kidding?
What?
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
but-
Yeah, I'm like, give me the
You
fuck.
like
I'm
chocolate?
I'm voting leave. I'm
No, wait a minute.
I'm voting leave.
No. Tez, we're going
I'm
to.
voting. I'm voting leave
we're
now.
going
Fuck
to
this. I'm out of
convert you.
here.
Look.
No, I can't have.
We're gonna convert you to
I'm
Hagelslag.
gluten intolerant now.
It doesn't mean
So I can't even have
Hagelslag,
it. You have
You
to
can
find me
do it
gluten-
in.
You have to find me gluten-free bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And
can-
I like chocolate sprinkles, obviously.
Yeah.
We have loads of gluten-free bread.
Okay,
Antwerp's great.
okay. I'll have gluten-free bread and some chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah.
that can
Oh,
make
you
you
have
some-
to
Butter?
you have
Hagelslag.
butter as well.
What
You
is this
use
fucking
butter?
insane?
No, it's not
No,
insane.
You put the bread, you put the butter. then
What
you
is the
put
life expectancy you guys have?
18.
Like 45?
18 years old. Are we expect to live that long?
Yeah.
No, she
No.
explained it to me. I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. I was like, I understand all these words individually.
Yeah.
Together,
Look.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Look. Do you like chocolate?
Yes,
Do you like bread?
I used to.
You used to. Yeah. Let's say
It's
but-
gluten-free.
Yeah,
you-
sure. Then
Okay,
yeah.
gluten-free bread.
Yeah.
You like it? You like butter?
Sure.
Sure.
You haven't tried Belgian butter though.
God.
We have the
I
best
don't-
everything. We have the best food.
Yeah.
Do you have the best food though? Do you have the
It's
best
like
food?
the polite guest.
Do you have the best food though? Do you really?
Belgian
You know when
food.
Stu was telling
Yeah.
thingy,
Brian.
Yeah, exactly. Family Guy.
do some chapters, some writing, some prose, some your narrative. Other heroes going on an arc, a journey. It's like, you really have the best food? Really? Okay.
I love that show, man.
I used to. I don't watch it anymore.
No.
No,
That just because you know.
No time.
It's too much
Too many
of the
episodes.
same.
It's too
It's
much.
too much of the same.
Rick and Morty's my jam now.
Yeah.
And I still love South Park. But okay, you have the best food. I know you got good chocolate.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I understand that.
We
What's
just
like
have
the
some-
weirdest Belgian food that we could give Tess to try? And
maybe
gluten-free.
And halal.
And halal,
what's
of
halal?
course.
Yeah, of course.
That narrows it down.
We
Like vol au vent. I guess
Vol au
that's
vent,
pretty. It's
yeah.
pretty weird. I guess.
What's vol au vent?
Vol au vent is like you have like a pastry.
That's
Okay.
gluten.
that's
Yeah, but you
gluten.
can get like the gluten-free pastry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like a pastry, then you take the top off, and then you have like a sauce, and this sauce is a combination of 3 meats. It's like a
Chicken?
gehakt, like
Oh, yeah,
gehaktballetjes,
Ground beef.
ground
or-
beef, but like in
or
little balls, like the
meatballs.
ones you have. Meatballs. Yeah.
You guys are monsters.
A chicken,
Wait,
a chicken, and then you. Oh no, there's only 2 meats, and then you have mushrooms,
Okay.
but it's all like in a creamy sauce that you.
To
put
be fair,
into the
it sounds like a
pastry
pie.
It is.
Kind of like yeah,
it's like a
actually yeah.
Belgian pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know what a pie is.
Yeah, but we don't.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it looks different,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But like
But it kind of sounds like a pie.
same ingredients, but it looks
Because
different.
a pie is a pastry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like you have to put the sauce like, and then you have to eat it with fries. So basically,
I can do that.
No veggies.
I like fries.
Yeah.
I like fries.
Yeah, Belgian fries.
If you can find me a halal gluten-free,
Yeah,
I mean that's a very narrow Voulevant, then yeah, I'll be up for that.
yeah.
It's no
That
problem.
sounds good.
It's no problem. We have the tendency, especially now, I think the last 5-6 years, to make everything a halal version of it.
Nice, good.
There's like
That's what you should do though.
yeah, but
But that's
there's
integration, right?
yeah, but sometimes it's a little bit creepy because there's a dish called stoofvlees,
Okay.
and the main ingredient is black or brown beer. And
Okay.
so there is somebody, an evil professor, who went to that.
yeah.
I'm gonna make a halal version out of this, and it's pretty good.
But that's
especially
good
with
though.
fries.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
but that's
Oh,
good though.
I was not even thinking about the beer. I was thinking about the meat, which is easy to get halal. But then
Yeah,
But that's good
but
though.
it's like brown beer. It's like a.
But
main
this is what annoys me sometimes about the culture that we live in is that Muslims are like, oh yeah, we want to try your stuff, but we'll make it halal so that we can enjoy it as well. And then some people will be like, why are you making it halal? But it's like so we can enjoy it.
yeah, we have a. I talked to this
Some
baker.
people get offended by that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, why is it halal? It's like, so we can. What, you don't want us to integrate? Like we meet you halfway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I talked to this baker last. I'm also a journalist. Actually, I mean, I'm not doing that now, but that's actually my education. And so I was talking to this baker for a paper, and we have this thing in Belgium. It's called Lost Monday. Verloren Maandag, something really weird. And then we eat.
It's a tradition.
We eat like a pastry with apples in it, and then we eat a pastry with like a sausage in it.
Okay.
And he was the first guy who said like, oh, let's make halal sausages. Let's also make vegan sausages so everybody can eat it. And then of course he got a lot of business because everyone went there for their halal pastries. But then he said like the first time I did this, I was amazed at how many people were calling me like, what are you doing? And like, why are you doing?
It's crazy.
And he was like, oh, it's just a pastry, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I used to do a joke on stage about halal Kriek, and Kriek is like a cherry beer. There's I think in Brussels, there's a guy who makes alcohol-free beer, and he made
I've had alcohol-free beer.
yeah,
Fucking disgusting.
me too. And a friend of mine
Yes,
who
I
does
agree.
drink, I asked him, so how is it taste? He goes, it's exactly the same thing.
I know it's fucking disgusting.
No.
Alcohol-free beer?
For me, alcohol-free beer, I don't like it.
No.
I like
A
alcohol.
regular beer.
Yeah, regular beer, but alcohol-free beer doesn't.
Really? Okay,
I've
you
just
said,
tried
like, the
one. I
taste is
just
all-
tried
oh,
one
okay.
kind, so
Alright.
maybe
Yeah,
just
yeah.
try different.
I've tried
kinds.
Heineken,
Oh,
alcohol-free.
Heineken.
You know what is really nice alcohol-free? Copperberg pear cider.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Cup?
So I don't know where it's from. It's not from England, but I don't know where we get. I
No,
don't
it's
know where.
Belgian.
Is it
That's
Belgian?
the thing. Yeah. I'm,
So
I'm allowed to-
Copperberg cider.
Oh yeah.
They make an alcohol-free version.
Yeah.
That is fucking nice.
Yeah.
It's the best drink I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It's like remember them sweets you got, like the pear sweets when you were younger.
Yeah.
It tastes like that.
Oh.
Okay.
I can feel my teeth dissolving. It's so nice. It's so nice.
We're just plugging alcohol now. No, but
Alcohol-free options, guys. Halal.
Halal.
Yes.
No, but there is a brewery who makes like a halal version of Kriek, and Kriek is a very Belgian beer.
Yeah.
So and we
So
have
with cherries.
in Belgium there's a country of beer. There's about
So many
100 or
beers.
20, so many beers.
So many beers.
And he goes like, I'm making a halal version of Creek, and he just got emails, threatening letters.
People get really upset.
But I think we need more non-alcoholic drinks just for everyone's, because when you don't drink, like tonight I'm not gonna drink. All you can choose is like disgusting like Coke and Fanta, which I don't like because it's
without
too sugary,
gas,
or like water or like tea. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like you have to drink boring drink. I mean, I love water, but like when you go out, you just want to have like a nice...
In the UK there's better options. We have J2O, we have appetizer, pineapple juice behind the bar. Like there's options in the UK.
Yeah, but also because
that's because they want to mix all those things with alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm like, just give me the without. Yeah.
But I also heard there's like two Belgian sisters. They went to study in the UK and they launched one of the most famous drinks in the UK. Like I forgot the name, but it's like also something you mix with alcohol or something.
Red Bull?
No, it's something like it's a different drink. It's different flavors, but they can't launch it on the Belgian market because here the system is very protected by the breweries that because here the breweries kind of own the cafes.
Boo.
I mean they don't own them exactly, but it's like
the licensing. Yeah. No, they do that. Breweries have licenses with certain pubs in the UK. It's a similar thing, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The thing is that surprised me a lot was when I'm in London and I'm watching TV. There's a lot of commercials about cider, and they advertise the Belgian drink from Belgium, Stella Artois cider. Belgium.
Yeah, Stella Artois.
And here, cider. Have you ever drank cider in Belgium?
No.
Nobody drinks cider
really?
in Belgium. Really, it's just like the drink from Belgium.
No, but Stella Artois is a beer, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but they make cider. I think in the UK they. No. So, any plans for the summer? Oh
yeah, sorry.
Ramadan. I mean, Ramadan is coming up.
So Ramadan's coming up. I don't know when this goes out. Maybe it was already started.
It's
but
live.
For us,
we're live on Facebook now.
Oh right, 2 days. Yeah, Ramadan starts in 2 days.
Wait, it starts on Monday.
Yeah.
For you, it's
for me Monday.
Is it official?
Not official, but probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just spoke to my mother, and she said it's probably tomorrow for us. So tomorrow the Ramadan.
Tomorrow evening?
How is this?
No.
As in tonight?
At tonight, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ramadan starts tonight officially.
Okay. But why are you saying probably?
Because there's this is good. Why we have soon.
Even Murad's like.
Even the director, everybody goes, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Oh my god! This is like asking for a vacation at work. Yeah. Why? Because it's Eid.
So, Islam follows the lunar calendar, which is 10 days shorter than the solar calendar.
Okay.
But it means we go by the moon. So the sighting of the new moon is the beginning of the new month.
Okay.
But sometimes you can't see the moon because, like in a lot of European countries, it's cloudy. Mm-hmm. So you have to rely on sources nearer to the equator where it's less cloudy and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so certain communities will follow Saudi Arabia because they're the epicenter of the Muslim world because they've got Mecca and Medina. And so when Saudi will say it's the new month, they will go along with that. Other people say no, you should follow your closest Muslim country. So for us in Britain, we follow Morocco.
Oh, okay.
And we go by when Morocco say it's Ramadan or whatever. And sometimes they will do it a day apart. So one Saudi might declare it on the Sunday, but Morocco will say, not for us, we're doing it on the Monday. And so I don't know how it is here, but in the UK, sometimes on the same street, you'll have people starting Ramadan a day after the other person.
Yeah.
And then, but which is fine in itself, but it becomes a problem when it's Eid, which is our celebration, like our Christmas.
Yeah.
So when they do that on different days, then that's
weird.
It's like that's stupid.
Yeah. That's at the end, right?
Yeah. So when they do that on different days, that hurts because I'm like, why aren't we doing it? Like on the same street, people are celebrating Eid on different days,
and especially when
imagine some people celebrate Christmas on 26th, not the 25th.
Yeah.
It's So they need to get a handle on this.
Yeah.
Definitely, we need to come together and go like, okay. It's like
go to these guys. Go to NASA and just ask them when the moon is.
But it's already fixed. It's already fixed,
right? Because there's people here with telescopes and shit. Like each country has a space thing.
But the Turkish, for example, the government already has it. It's official. there's no discussion about it. But the thing is that it's the visual, that it's somebody who needs to go in a minaret, I imagine, and go outside and go like, okay.
Yeah, with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Just be like, I
It's
can see
like
the moon.
Groundhog Day. So, okay, does the the thing come out or not?
So the lunar month always has 29 or 30 days. So it's never shorter, never longer. So on the 28th day, so on the 29th day, you're going, is it the first tomorrow or is it the 30th? So if you can't see the moon, it's the 30th. If you see the moon, it's the first.
Okay. And then it's Eid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're in a country where you're like, we didn't see the moon, you just do the 30th, whereas the neighboring country might be like, well, we saw the moon. And then what you should just do is like, okay, well, someone's seen it.
Yeah.
So it's on them. If they're lying, it's on them, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
But nah.
Wow.
I think sadly it's political as well.
Yeah, true.
I make like little movies every 2 weeks. And my last theme was how to talk to Muslims during Ramadan.
Oh yeah.
And I did this with my friend because obviously I'm not Muslim. And so my friend, we went on the video together, and she told me all this stuff that Muslims always have to hear during Ramadan, like not even water.
That's the
and like
not even water.
Yeah.
You could call a TV show that. Not even water.
Not even water.
And but I also saw we just published this yesterday, but I also saw that you made like a short film about this, about in the office, like
yeah.
And so what I haven't seen it.
That was the first thing I ever did for like it wasn't for TV. It went on BBC iPlayer, so their digital channel rather than the TV channel. But that's the first thing I did back in 2015. Like that was kind of the major channel. So they just commissioned a series of comedy shorts for Ramadan, and I got one. Gus got one as well. That's how we met, because he made a short film and I made a short film, and then we were like, oh, I like yours, blah blah, and then we got talking. That was back in 2015. 4 years, exactly 4 years ago, and people really liked it. Yeah, so it's kind of like me working in the office, having to do Ramadan, and people in the office not understanding, and then the girl that I fancy asks me to lunch, and I'm like, oh my god, but what if this opportunity never comes again? So I go to lunch with her, and she's eating, and I'm not eating. So it's it's silly, but it was good fun.
Yeah.
What's the worst? Not the worst, but the most irritating thing people asking you in Ramadan?
I mean, it is the not even water.
Not even water.
Because it's.
But sometimes they're always like, "Why do you do it?" And you're like, sometimes you're like, it wouldn't be that hard for you to think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why?
Just look it up.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Google is your friend, but
yeah.
B, like, why do you think people don't eat and pray more? Like, just think for yourself, and just it would take you for less than 30 seconds to realize.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe because they want to be more spiritual, and maybe they want to have a month where they spiritually cleanse themselves and think about how fortunate they are. It's not a big leap to think that. So it's kind of, because when you're tired, you're like, here's my pre-written response.
Yeah.
But also, how long is the Muslim community now in Belgium and the UK? That's pretty long.
Long time.
Why every
Long
year?
time. Long
Yeah,
time.
50 years.
Or some people will ask. Some people will ask the same
50.
question every year. Like the people you say not even water, that's the same person every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
I was really amazed by what my friend told me. Like I asked her, like, because I looked some up online, but the things she told me, like the things we put in the movie were like people asking, but can't you fast at night?
Yeah.
It's like that's when you sleep. That's not hard at all. Like,
it defeats the purpose.
Or
Oh, if you're a comedian during the day, it defeats the purpose. Yeah. I've had it before where people are like, "What, you can't eat for 30 days?" And you're going, "We're not camels."
Obviously you eat. It's just or like
what do you eat then? What do you eat?
Yeah.
it's nice food. Or like, can you save? This is one of the ones that got me. Like, can you save the saliva in your mouth and then swallow it and then feel less first? I was like, and we put it in the video, and she was like, no, people actually ask me this. What?
Oh my god!
That's not even.
One of the stupidest things to ask somebody is not even sex.
Oh,
What the hell am I going to discuss my sex life with you?
Yeah.
Or work.
Also,
like your boss asking you.
Who has
somewhere no sex.
Who has the energy? I don't have the energy outside of Ramadan, let alone during Ramadan. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm retired.
Yeah, with our 4 wives.
Yeah, exactly. It's so demanding as well. Because they are simultaneously oppressed and exotic,
And
right?
exotic, yeah.
At the same
Oh
time.
my god.
They wear the lingerie in the kitchen, though.
In the
Yeah,
kitchen.
you know.
While making dinner.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sue,
Yes.
any other questions?
Um.
This is the fucked up part. When one host goes to the other one. Then you guys,
See, what's your background?
someone's making.
What's your background?
Oh, my background. My dad's Congolese, but also Belgian. But yeah, and from Congolese descent. He moved here in the 60s, and then my mum's white from Belgium.
I like how you say
So-
white from Belgium.
Yeah, because I'm also from Belgium. You're also from
Yeah,
Belgium,
we're all
but
from-
we're not white.
So you're mixed race.
Yes, I'm mixed. Yes, and I grew up actually in Kalmthout, which is a small village.
Oh, nice. Were you the only black person in the village?
Yes,
Right,
me and my four
right.
brothers. We
Right,
were
right,
the
right.
only black
Right.
people. There was one Indian girl that got adopted. Her name was Nantana, and people, it's like people asked me all the time if I was her sister, and
Wow.
obviously I wasn't.
I like the way how he says, "Oh, were you the only black person?" And it sounded a lot because it was your voice. It goes, "The only gay in the village."
Yeah.
Was it also
Well,
like
that's
that?
where I come from. The only
I
black in the
wish-
village.
I wish it was
yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah,
them,
the
them
little bit.
accepting me and me not wanting to see it. But no. It's really It was really. Actually, when I look back on it, I had a really good time growing up because of my brothers and we were kids and we would play and do whatever. But then you only
Also, kids don't see those things as well.
they really don't. Like it takes you a while to realize that you're a different color, as in to what the majority.
But
is.
what the impact of that is.
Yes, and also
And so let kids be kids, innit?
yeah. But then when you get older, you look back on certain situations and be like, oh, because when you're kids and you get treated a certain way by certain people, you're just like, okay, and then you just like play, like you're not really, you can't process those things. But yeah.
Do you guys think it's a good idea to just be oblivious to that? Because it's like losing your innocence. Huh?
I like
Yeah.
Oblivion.
Yeah.
I like
Ignorance is bliss, as the saying goes.
Yeah.
I think you should let kids be kids
Yeah.
because, they've got the whole life ahead of them, and
Yeah.
at some point they're gonna realize. So I think the later you can leave that,
Mm-hmm.
the better. I think.
When was it? When was was it with you? How old were you when you
Oh,
realized
9/11.
9/11 was the one?
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was 18.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Sue, when was the moment that you realized, oh,
Fully
mm-hmm.
only, I guess 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah, I'm 30
Okay.
now, so
Was it?
when I was, but fully when I realized
Fully,
it fully, like
Was it?
it was Zwarte Piet.
Oh yeah.
It was Black Pete.
I know.
You've heard
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's when
Yeah. Where were you?
I was in a coffee shop
In.
in here in
Yeah?
Antwerp. Yeah.
Oh, you because I know they do in Holland.
Mhm.
Oh no,
You do it
not
here as
the,
well?
no,
not
the
the
weed
coffee
one.
shop.
But like an actual.
No. I mean,
Oh.
as in,
Ah,
as in
Black
Black
Pete.
Pete.
Oh, yes, they do it here and in Holland. I guess we're the only two countries in the
Yeah.
whole world.
And
that
Spain
do
have
it.
a thing as well.
Oh.
I don't know. It's not called Black Pete, but they have a version of that which you're
Of
going.
like a, yeah.
we have we
Yeah.
have two
Yeah.
two different things. We've got Zwarte Piet and we got I forgot the names, but there is the idea is that they do put blackface on and they give money away, and the reason why they put the blackface on is what they say. So yeah, we don't want to be recognized when we give money to the poor, and so it's a tradition in
Oh,
Brussels.
the guy,
Yeah.
like Karel de Gucht.
Yeah, exactly.
paint in his face,
One of
Was
the
it Karel de
secretary of Belgium who did the
was
blackface and
Didier
Didier
Reynders.
Reynders, that's
Sorry,
it.
Karel de Gucht.
That's it.
Wear a mask.
no blackface.
I know,
They
I'm
put
saying.
Actually,
yeah.
blackface.
I'm saying if that's the purpose, wear a mask.
Ah,
innit?
okay, yeah.
But how come you didn't realize Black Pete before that?
Because when we grew up, there's this show in Belgium called Dag Sinterklaas, which is an argument that many people still use in favor of Black Pete. And that is that we just saw Sinterklaas and then Black Pete, and we got told so many times Black Pete is black because he works in chimneys, because he goes through chimneys, because of the soot, And so I actually, for the longest time, I was like, yeah, that's that, and then, but then after a while, this Black Pete is
why are his lips red?
exactly. And
And
why is he
big.
completely black? Why does he have curly hair? Why does he,
Mm-hmm.
he's a black slave. Like, he's a black
Yeah.
slave. But just what
But
got
the penny
me.
dropped. But the penny dropped.
Yeah, the penny dropped after, like, this was the second year I think the discussion was going on. And the penny dropped because I just saw people, how should I say it? Like, people will bring it, people from both sides. I hate when people say both sides because obviously more sides than two. But people from both sides were bringing out arguments. And then I reckon that the people who wanted Black Pete to stay, they never changed their arguments. It was always the same arguments and always just not listening at all to
Right.
like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
of
yeah.
the concerns that people against Black Pete had. Like, just like also saying, not believing the people that were against, not believing them, not recognizing them, not like, even when there's like research or like people coming forward and saying, yo, my little kid is getting teased around this time because he's black. Everyone calls him Black Pete at school. He's not a little kid anymore. He has to be Black Pete. And I remember we had that as well. Like me, my dad. But it's just when you're a kid, it's just, it just fades, you know? Like
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, it just, my penny dropped, and then I would, sometimes then you start seeing everything, and it's
like the Matrix.
yeah.
Everything falls apart.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to notice everything.
Yeah.
The racist grandma.
Morpheus going, she's beginning to believe.
Just recognizing small racist stuff.
Yeah. We seen two cats do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And they just go around punching people in the face. Saying, racism.
You get very sensitive about the word but. I'm not a racist, but.
Oh yeah.
So funny.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
your racism alarm goes.
My Turkish friend I haven't spoken to in 7 years, but I know what he
my
feels.
Turkish friend. So funny.
Yeah. Okay, we got the nice round signal of our director / producer, promoter, Murat. Shout out to Murat.
Yeah,
Poly-
shout out to
poly-
Murat.
poly-
Let's say something nice about Murat because he's
He
Is
put on
it-
he put on a good show last night. I don't know him
Yeah,
very well, but
yeah.
he's really good show last night.
yeah, it was a very good show. But first, where can people follow you? Do you have still a need for followers?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not like Jesus. Stop at 12. You know.
Okay.
You on
I'm
Instagram?
gonna keep going. Yeah, just
of
my
course,
name,
yeah.
Tez Ilyas, TEZILYAS on everything: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Excitingly, I've got. I don't know actually if you're gonna see it, but if you listen to this in Britain, I've got my own Channel 4 show. We were talking about this last night. I've got my own Channel 4 show coming out this summer, called the Tez O'Clock Show, at 11 o'clock though, because brown time. And so that's a mix of like studio based and sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. It's a trial commission, and hopefully if it goes well, then we get a longer series in the future. But
Nice.
inshallah, yeah. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, things are happening. I'm really excited. Hoping to go back on tour next year. So if and when I do, I'll make sure I'll come back to Antwerp and see this hand.
Inshallah, we're looking forward to everything you do. Are you coming back to Belgium?
Yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might need a visa next time I come back,
Oh yeah.
depending what happens with
We can
Brexit.
smuggle you in. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah,
We got like a
appreciate that.
lorry somewhere. in
Yeah,
there.
I'll just say, he's my brother. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be our. That's gonna be our next stick, bringing smuggling comedians into Belgium. Hey Tez, it was great having you. Sue, always. Any questions you want to ask Tez or?
What have you guys got coming up? You got your own show, right?
Yeah, I'm in October. I'm premiering my hour. It's called Final Frontier English and in De Ruimte in Dutch. So I'm looking forward, man. It's
exciting.
great. How was it for you? With the first hour, was it
Scary?
scary?
Yeah.
I'm
But
shitting
it's
myself,
great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? So what you got going on?
That's it.
I'm actually starting the second leg of my tour. The first leg was only 4 gigs, but the second leg,
It's a-
it's a leg. It's a short
Yeah,
leg.
yeah, yeah, it's a leg,
It's a leg.
It's gonna be the other one's gonna be too big.
But I'm starting in September. I'm doing 20 shows, so I'm really happy
Amazing.
about that. Yeah.
Where you coming to the UK by any chance? Or
No,
just around Belgium.
I'm not.
Netherlands?
I'm actually.
No, we had
Yeah.
Jared Christmas we had, but we also had a date for in the Top Secret.
Oh yeah.
But another comedian had to cancel, and so it all fell through. But we're definitely coming through to London
Yes.
at the Top Secret.
Because Top
coming.
Secret are good at putting solo shows on
Yeah.
in the upstairs room. They do it all the time. People
Yeah,
do
but we're
previews
gonna
there
do-
and solo shows and stuff.
I think we're
And
going
you
to
can
do
do the club
like
gigs.
the best or Belgium or something for comedians
nice.
from Belgium, and just
Yeah.
Wicked,
everybody-
wicked. Well, let me know when that is. Hopefully, if I'm in town, I'll come along.
Cool.
inshallah.
Nice.
Cool. Des, thank you. Yeah.
Maybe
Thanks being a part of Nuff Said, or the Nuff Said family. Can we make you
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, yeah.
Like a
I'll be-
cousin?
I'll be a cousin. Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for coming, and yeah, Nuff Said.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.